shadows a bit on the side. Well, we are just like Big Bro. We love to throw a spanner in the works. Yeah. But there are no losers on this show, are there? No. We are the cool kids. So much so, I've got a sparkly microphone tonight. Look at that. Amazing. But enough about that. Let's meet our winning lineup of guests tonight. My first guest has been there, done that, got the killer nomination. And if Marlon hadn't gone and pushed that ruddy button, she might have still been sat in that house right now. Let's hope she's not meditating at the moment, though. It's the wonderful Jaleh. Now, last time she was on, she said that she had lost faith in the British public. But has that faith been restored? It's the straight talking, always wonderful, Nina Mishkov. And finally, you can't get much more bling than our next guest. I am not talking about John McCririck. We have got a gypsy dressmaker extraordinaire in the house. It's the fantastic Thelma Madine. And that is what this is in honour of, Thelma. Normally, it's just a standard wand mic, but tonight we thought we'd glitz it up because you were here.
Oh, brilliant.
What do you think?
It's a bit last year. We're on to Eiffel Towers and things now.
Are you saying I'm so last season?
Yes.
OK, brilliant. Let's get back to it. I'm going to keep this. I know you quite like holding it, but you can't anymore. Let's get back to tonight's show. The housemates were separated into winners and losers. Nina, what did you make to the teams?
The teams were psychologically brilliant because the blue team, the losers, were all the paranoid people in the house. Yeah. They were all the people who, thought, oh, I wonder what, it's in. And the red team...
Stoking that fire a bit more.
Stoking that fire a bit more. I mean, actually, I have to say, Big Brother has been really evil this series. I mean, really twists, turns. It's been fantastic. I love it. And the red team are all the sort of the loudmouth big characters, and so they naturally want to be the winners, and they're actually going to be the winners. So of course, when the blue team lost everything, I mean, they were destroyed. I thought Christopher was going to wet himself.
They just couldn't quite get on board with it, could they?
No, they just couldn't. You could see them thinking, this isn't right. Red team 15.
What are we doing wrong? Oh, it's got to be the numbers, the colours. Oh, I don't... Jaleh, whose team would you have been on, do you think?
Well, from that analysis, probably blue, from the sound of things. But I'd have been fuming if I'd lost it. I would have just kept going. I'd like to have been on the red team, obviously, to win, of course.
The Blues, though, pretty bright sparks on that team, you would think.
Absolutely.
Thelma, are you not surprised that they didn't go, hold on a minute, something's going on here? Because as we know of recent times, Big Brother just likes to flip it.
Yeah, I was quite surprised at little Chris not getting it and Stephen, because they're really, they're intelligent, and I thought they would have sussed it out. But I think they were just, because the others are such strong characters and they are the power ones, I think they just feel if they're just playing, it's okay. It doesn't matter if they don't win.
And the other thing is the blue team are the nicer people.
Yeah.
And they're not cynical. So they don't question it as much because they think, well, they don't begin to think, surely they can't be that evil. If they're more honest, and therefore they take things
more
honestly.
Accepting
absolutely.
Of it,
that's their trouble. But in fact it's terrific to see people who are honest and who accept people at face value and who have faith and are optimistic about it.
Has Nina hit the nail on the head there, Jaleh?
That's a pretty good analogy, I think. Yeah, very good.
OK,
cool
we'll focus a little bit. Yay! We're going to be talking more about the task a bit. What the fuck am I doing with it? We're going to be focusing more on the task a little bit later on in the show, but let's talk about the rest of what we've just watched. So it was Pav's birthday, but not everybody was in the mood for a party. Helen wasn't very happy about the comments that she heard that she'd said herself. Thelma, what did you make to her reaction?
I really don't think she knows what she's saying half the time, because I think most of the comments she makes like that, the nasty ones, is when she's had a few drinks and she doesn't realise what she's saying, and maybe she should, bathroom mirror, have a look at herself and see what she's saying wrong and look back at this series, and maybe she might change it the way she is and what she does say.
Jaleh, is it easy to forget what you've said in there?
For me, not really. But knowing Helen, she's a little bit like a wind-up toy. You just kind of wind her up and she'll just speak. There's no filter at all. So I think,
she gets away with it, though. That's all.
I
She
think
gets
she's
away
just
with it, and that's the only
genuinely got no
reason.
filter, and she's just very direct.
And
You
Stephen
know
was
exactly-
he was very quick to kind of forgive what
Yeah.
she'd said. Said.
Yeah.
What does "said" even mean? Do you think though he might kind of take those comments to heart a little bit, but not let on to her?
I think he just knows what she's like. I think everyone knows what she's like in there. You just kind of accept it because you're just used to it. It's just who she is. That's who she is.
But,
She'll
and
just say it.
the other thing is that if anybody says anything nasty about you, of course you take it to heart. If someone gives you a coffin look or a
Yeah,
nasty
yeah.
look, you take it to heart as
Yeah.
well. You don't forget that. That's the things you wake up in the middle of the night about. You know.
Yeah.
But Helen's such a lying,
Yeah.
nasty
Yeah.
bitch, and I've hated her all the way through, and she hasn't changed. And to see her get her comeuppance, to see her own words come back. And she's just lying. I mean, she may think she's forgotten, but I mean, you say it's when she's in drink, but I don't think she was pissed when she said the thing about the lying the tramp bit. I think she was
No, and I
sober.
don't think she was drunk when she said the bit about Stephen wanting to win over the public
Yeah.
and kind of,
No.
you know, putting on a little performance kind of
No.
thing.
She's so used to getting her own way.
Yeah, she is.
You've seen her look at Ashley and seen what Ashley say. That moment there, Big Brother should have gone, do you know what? This is the moment. TV screen's there. Housemates, this is who said what.
Rather than reminding us what it said, remind the housemates.
Because they showed Ashley the clips last week or whenever it was,
Yeah.
so they should have shown the house that.
Yeah.
And also, I thought it was outrageous that Big Brother took away Ashley's immunity.
I think a lot of people think
I mean,
that's
the
outrageous.
internet's going crazy about that.
Oh, don't I just know it? My Twitter feed's going crazy about it as well. Sorry, if there was something I could do about it, then I would. Now, we do... Yes, go, Barbara, I'll get to you in a minute. Now, aside from the internet going crazy, the housemates are kind of going crazy about the new housemates, saying they're snakes in the grass. Jarlath, are they right to have listened to Matthew and Danielle? I mean, we've kind of
really.
heard Danielle say she did it out of spite, really, last night.
They've just come in, like, what, week 6, week 7, so they're immediately going to be suspicious of people. They just don't want them to win. The only thing I was a bit disappointed about was Zoe not taking people on face value going in the house, and she's kind of watched the show for a while, and rather than kind of getting to know Steve and Kim, slightly disappointed with that, but she'll learn, she'll get to know them, and that's up to her to decide after that, but no,
It's probably
they're not.
quite difficult, though, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
we
of
all,
course.
as Big Brother fans,
Yeah.
are watching, and you make that assumption.
You do,
to then
yeah.
go into that house and meet those people,
world.
you're always going to think, but what about when I saw that, and what about when I saw that? Do you know
Very
what I
much
mean?
so, very
But
much
as
so.
you say, you kind of need to go in there
Yeah.
with a clear head,
I think
if
so.
possible, and just try and start from scratch.
Yeah, I think
which I
that's
would
the
imagine
best
would be
way.
quite difficult.
It's going to be very difficult for them, but I don't think they're snakes in the grass. I think, obviously, they're just... I don't know where Matt and... I don't know where they're coming from with that. They'll have to ask Matt, but I don't get it. You know, they're not snakes. I just think they're just normal people. Pav's a bit...
Well,
talk
it's
about Pav
clear
later,
that the original housemates do think that the newbies are up to something. Do you think the game is starting to take its toll, Nina?
It is.
We're 3 weeks from the end.
I
Like
know.
Stephen said at the end of tonight's show, everyone's starting to see that finishing line now.
They're starting to see the finishing line, and they've been in there so long, so any little piece of information that they get hold of, which is why when they're told there's snakes in the grass, everyone goes, oh my God, there's snakes in the grass. And they think, well, they must know. They've been watching us. And it's think and double think and think and double think the whole time. So they're constantly on edge. And I think it's really, it's fascinating to watch, but it must be hell in there. It must be ghastly. I don't think Zoe's a snake in the grass. Zoe seems to me to be straightforward and friendly. I haven't seen that side. I don't understand why Danielle and Matthew said that. Pav, I think, is a different kettle of fish. I mean, he seems to lurk a bit. I mean, he lurks.
He's a watcher.
He's
isn't
a
he?
he's a watcher,
watcher.
and he doesn't need to join in. He hasn't joined in. He hasn't sort of made his own relationships. He's so busy sort of lurk. I feel creepy around him.
But then again, we're all watchers. That's what we're doing, isn't it? We're watching them. So why shouldn't they watch each
No,
other?
I think they're paranoid because Big Brother's brought these people in so late on and they think there is a purpose
don't know
for
what's
it and they
going
don't
on, yeah.
know what's going on and they're living on eggshells, basically. That's what I think. They're very
I mean, they were paranoid before the newbies even went in. Can you believe you're talking into a sparkly camera?
It's very nice. I want to take it home.
Isn't it lovely? It's beautiful. Like you lot, beautiful.
Feel threatened. Yeah,
the end of the day, I don't care what it says, they're all there to win. It's not somebody gone in there not to win.
Yes.
And that's what they're all gone in there for. And now it's 2 new people going, that's another risk now, as far as they're concerned. Oh, what we're going to do.
Well, we're 3 weeks from the end, aren't we, tomorrow?
They're an easy choice for a nomination. It's
Yeah.
2 easy picks. So the two new housemates, them 2. Boom.
Thanks for that. Easy pickings. Right, still to come, Diane Udale's going to be here to separate the winners from the losers. But first, it's eviction number 9 tomorrow, and here are all the numbers you will need to vote. This week, Ashley, Stephen, Pav and Zoe all face the public vote. Who goes? You decide. From a landline, call 090 20 44 58 and add the number of the housemate you want to evict. From a mobile, call 650 58 and add the number of the housemate you want to evict. For Ashley, add 02. For Stephen, add 13. For Pav, add 18. For Zoe, add 19. Mobile and BT landline votes cost 50 pence. Other landlines may vary. Or you can vote via the Big Brother app, where 2 votes will cost you 99 pence. Voting closes in Friday's eviction show. Votes cast after the lines close won't count. You can find terms on the Big Brother website. Welcome back to Big Brother Spit on the Side, where we are always on the winning team. We are winners. I am feeling like the biggest winner right now. Aren't I just an absolute ridiculous winner? Here's an exclusive.
Hi Pav, how are you?
Oh, not so good today.
Why's that?
I just feel out of my depth. I feel like I'm almost doubting myself, feeling I can't do this. I'm not really sure exactly why I feel how I feel. I'm still trying to understand it. I'm still trying to. It's quite surprising. I'm quite surprised in myself that I'm missing home quite a bit. I sort of almost feel that they would have preferred for me to go over her, simply because she brought a lot more excitement to the house than I have. And this week, Ash is close to Ashley and he's close to Stephen as well. And I'm going up against both of them, so I sort of almost feel as if there's a sense of resentment there, possibly. And then if one of them goes, then they're stuck with me again.
Are you alright, Pav?
Oh, I don't think I am.
So, little old Pav is feeling down. Could the task also be a factor in this? Questions. Here to help us explain all those questions and what is going on in the housemates' heads is our resident hair-flicking and high-kicking psychotherapist, Diane Udale.
Just for you.
Thank you. I do love it when you do that.
We do 1 or 2 each series. That's fine. We're rationed.
So we've just seen Pav there.
Yeah.
Because he has studied psychology, is he overthinking?
It's a big problem with a lot of us psychotherapists and
Yeah.
psychologists. Unfortunately,
Just
you've got to
need to
kind of
let go.
desensitise yourself and get in the moment a little bit more. But it is a natural tendency for that sort.
Would you say this is one of the biggest psychological shopping tasks that we've seen?
It is, because it absolutely goes to the core on something we call neurological levels, which we'll look at in a minute, to every single person in house. It sounded deep, but it potentially could be very deep for some of them in moments.
Now, I say this very carefully, they did all seem to be getting on before this shopping task. Apart from obviously what happened with the Power Alliance and then the switching of nominations. Aside, even after that though, it was kind of all right.
Yeah.
They were getting on. So what happens when you then divide them into 2 groups and pit them against each other?
At this stage in the game, they're kind of expecting it. They've signed up for the Big Brother experience, and being divided at some point at any stage is going to happen. It was just such a shame they just kind of made that kind of little crest of the wave moment all together. But because of the divide being the introverts and the extroverts, just to be very blunt about it, it's kind of made it a little bit more easy. They can kind of see some psychology behind it, but they're not quite sure. But the task is unfolding, so they're becoming a little bit more clear.
So 2 groups.
Yep.
One constant that we see in one group that we always have is that Helen and Ash very rarely get split up.
Yes.
Have Big Brother missed a trick by always keeping them together?
Possibly, and particularly in this task, because we're beginning to see chinks in Helen's armour about her caring for Ash more and more. Those close to her outside of the house will see that a lot of Helen. We've barely seen it. If Ash had been in the blue team, she'd have felt so horrible for him because she hates injustice and she hates lies. Not that she doesn't do it herself, and we know this.
But that is part of the
unfortunately,
game, isn't it?
It is, but she'd have been wanting to rescue him, and it could have given the game away, which would have been quite good for us to watch and a bit of a dilemma for the BBT.
You always want the drama, don't you, Diana?
Yeah.
Always want it. Now, I hear you have created a little diagram for us. And I think we're going to see it. Are you ready for this?
Hey.
There we go. It's quite pretty.
Thank you.
And you have a little hair flick with it as well. So what is all this?
Well, this is on the question of being constantly failing in life. Does it affect you? Well, yes, because it can get down to your core identity. This is something called the neurological levels. The science bit is about it. You feel it in your nerves. It's all connected to your hormones as well. But basically, when you feel something on that level, you're in like a deep crisis. It's a dark night of the soul as such. But we're not going to see that. But what you will see is people challenging their beliefs and their values just for moments. They won't talk about it because it's way too deep and personal, but you'll see lots of sort of little moments and gazes going on, which you've seen particularly from Zoe as well.
Like we've just seen with Pav.
And with Pav just
in
then.
that exclusive.
Yeah.
So this is this more particularly for the losers, for the blue team?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. At the moment, I think a lot of this task is on the blue shoulders at the moment. It's a big ask of them. And as a psychotherapist, I like to deal with real.
Yeah.
I often deal with the black bit in the middle when people are really in existential crisis. But in this house, we're getting closer. This task has taken them closest to it than many of the tasks that have gone on before, other than when relatives come into the house, like the freeze frame last year. That was genius too.
What effect does it have on people when you're constantly reminded that you're a loser, that you're losing, that...
It challenges your beliefs.
It's just not nice, is it?
It's not nice, and it can. If you're being shot too many times, you lie down.
Who from the red team do you think enjoyed drilling that into them the most?
Winston!
Really?
Absolutely. He's loving it. He's got a simple masculinity about him, and he doesn't mind playing it out in the house at any opportunity, but he does it with a lovely big smile.
Why we talked about this a second ago, but why did we talk about it or not? I think I meant to talk about it. Why haven't any of the losers sussed out that this isn't actually what's going on?
I initially thought, looking at Chris and Zoe, they've got quite a high emotionally intuitive ability about them. I thought they might start sussing some of it out, and maybe even Christopher when he's not worrying about everything else, and Mark.
Yeah.
But a bit disappointed in that. I would have thought maybe they'd have kind of started to put two and two together in some way.
Now, the one part of the task that really took hold of all of them and got them listening and watching was the head-to-head quiz with Ashley and Christopher. Tell us, we've talked about Helen's reaction over there earlier, but tell us what you could see from her reaction.
Well, it was one of those times she was caught with a hand in the cookie jar completely. She can't bear it when other people do that, but she's been caught doing it herself by none other than us and Big Brother, and they've pulled her up on it. The facts that she said it. What she's arguing is it was misinterpreted in terms of tonality and intention. Remember, it's not what we do a lot of the time, it's how we do it, it's the intention behind it. But because of what we've seen of Helen already, she knows she's kind of already exposed parts of herself, this tough barricade of being quite hurtful. And she's very protective of those she loves. And the last thing she'll want to do is hurt those she loves or likes. And in this case, Stephen.
Will that kind of have an underlying rippling effect in their friendship? Or
No.
I mean, he said he's not bothered, but...
I think now she's had the tears, and the tears always get a lot of guys, sorry guys, they kind of, oh, stop crying, woman's crying, and they'll quickly open up and try and like placate the situation, and particularly with Helen, it was odd to see her cry. She's done it very, very few times. He's very rounded, he'll roll out of it very quickly because he's got a very big day tomorrow, and to be honest, that's all he'll be thinking about.
And he's worrying about what the public think of him.
Yes, yes.
Now we can exclusively, I find it so difficult to say that word, reveal that the housemates passed this week's shopping tax.
Oh, wow.
They did. So will there be any repercussions, do you think?
Gosh, if they've passed, there'll be that lovely reunification going on. There'll be a lot of backpacking, a lot of kind of tying up loose ends about what actually went on, and a lot of relief, particularly for the Blues. Now it can be revealed that actually they were meant to be losing all the time, so they can reform.
Will they regroup and kind of try and get on
they have
as
to,
they were?
tonight's one night they know they've got together as they are. Think about it. If you put themselves in their shoes right now, it's Friday tomorrow. They haven't got the time to start going, right, you did this, you did that, this is what's going on. They've got a few hours. They'll want to let their hair down and celebrate somewhat because tomorrow is a very tense day.
Diane, thank you very much.
Thank
Diane,
you.
you tell everybody. Coming up, the nominees' friends and family will be here, but now it's the moment we've all been waiting for. Dish on the Side serves its third and final course. Get your spoons at the ready because it's time for pudding.
Previously on Dish on the Side, the main course was served with a side order of Danielle. Toya and Matthew took advantage of the wine.
She might have paid for her tits, but they're still fucking saggy, alright?
Marlon reminded people that it's just a game.
We keep on forgetting that it's a game.
And Jale, she was there too. On to the final course.
Who's it?
Dessert. And the ex-housemates are about to get an extra helping of Pauline. Bon appetit!
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah?
Do you think you and Charlie would ever have a relationship outside this house?
It's like an elephant in a room.
Let's just approach you because we're just sitting here and I'm in the middle.
Pauline, let me tell you something. We've been doing a Maury Povich here because me and Marlon hugged it out, honey. So we need to answer this question.
Okay, it's not that I don't like you, I just didn't like what you did, and there's a complete difference.
Yeah, but do you know what I feel? I feel like with you two...
It wasn't even that either.
No, but do you know
Everybody
what
else made it about
you
that.
two? I feel like it's not helped when people come into a situation that they know is already quite heightened and add their pennies worth. And I feel like Helen did add her pennies worth.
But Helen's not here.
No,
I'm addressing this with Pauline
she
now,
may not
so I
be
can't
here.
really- I've spoken to Helen
No,
about
she may not be
situations
here.
we've
I'm
had.
just giving an opinion, right? And I say it to her face because I don't give a shit about her.
It was incidences rather than anything specific about you or me.
I think where I'm coming from is I'm not going to argue with someone after a week about chicken.
I want to say though that we live with a bunch of people that are really, really, really fucking shit listeners because they're so obsessed with being self-righteous and giving their own point of view. They don't listen to you.
Do you know who's more guilty of that? I feel like is Ash.
Oh yeah.
Ash is one of these people you don't hear, and he will speak behind your back, but Ash will never say it to your face unless he has Helen behind him to kind of goad him or to protect him.
I'm trying to take Ash from when I see him face to face. I talk to him, and that's how I take Ash. When I come out, it was quite difficult for me to see the comments that he was making behind my back and in the diary room with Winston and with Helen. So when he does come out, I'd like to have a conversation and ask him why this and this and this and this was said.
I don't even think you should bother. I think you should just palm them off.
Ash is pathetic.
Yeah, but can I say something, Marlon? Let me tell you something. You see, with Ash, you know the biggest problem with Ash? Helen. I think if you take Ash away from Helen, then you're dealing with the real Ash.
Toya,
And
we
he
can't
could've-
judge these people. Like,
I'm not. Listen, you keep using.
Can I just make a
no,
point?
wait, because
Can I
I'm
make one
talking.
point?
No,
Can I
I'm
make
talking.
one
No,
point?
I'm
Can I
talking to
make one
Marlon.
point?
No,
Can I
because
make
I'm
one-
talking to
right,
Marlon.
basically, we all
Marlon,
lost
what
our
I'm saying
heads
to
in
you
the
is
house,
this:
and
as
no
far as
one
I'm
is
concerned,
out of
the only person
that
that owes you
scenario,
anything
so we
in
can't
that
judge them too
friendship
harshly.
is Ash.
Knowing what we know now about Kim and Stephen, do you think they're going to stay together outside?
No.
Hell to
Pauline?
the no.
I'd like to hear your...
What do you think?
From an emotional standpoint, I personally don't think that she would put up with Stephen outside of the house.
Do you know what? I had a conversation with Kimberly in the toilet and I said to her, would you make a promise to me now that you would not do anything in this house, i.e. sleep with him? And she's like, I would never do that because
No,
I would
but-
never want to be known as the girl that done it.
She's from America. She's a glamour modelling career established. She knows a showman does what gets
Kim
paper
was my bestie
headlines.
in there,
I
sorry.
think she's a nice
Oh,
girl,
she's
but I
a
don't
lovely
think
girl.
she's here for herself. I think she's here for a job.
Who do you think has got a chance of coming through to the final out of the new face?
Zoe, she knows the industry, she's playing a game, she shouldn't be in Big Brother. That's the end of it.
She knows what she's doing. I think she might get far because she's playing a good game. She's brighter than most of the people in the
Yeah,
house.
but all it
because
takes
they're not
is
very
for one
bright, let's put it
person
that
in the
way.
house to realise that she's playing a game.
I think Helen and
she's
her will
done.
become alliances, but eventually they will come to blows.
If it's a winner for justice, it should be Chris.
I love
And
Steve.
secondly, it should be Christopher. So, guys, what happens if Helen wins?
I will sue Big Brother.
If Helen wins, it proves that the nation are just chavs. Let's put it that way.
Out of all them housemates in the house so far, who do you think is going to make the most money?
No one's going to make money. There's no money in Big Brother anymore. They're all deluded. Full stop.
Cheers, darling.
Cheers,
guys.
Big
Cheers, darling.
Let's skip Mark. I have no time for any of you.
Welcome back to Bit on the Side, the show that's just like a party at your auntie's house, only with less dancing and much more awkward conversations. Talking of awkward conversations, I'm now joined by some of our nominees, nearest and dearest. Oh no, this is where the fighting begins. We've got Pav's friend Vic, Zoe's friend Hayley, and Steve's mum Lynn. We're also going to be talking to Ashley's mum Mary, who is going to be on the phone in a few minutes. So, the power returned to the house, and Ashley and Chris were very quick to nominate Stephen. Lynn, he's had quite an emotional week. With Kimberly leaving, which we heard. You met and it went very well.
Yeah, it went really well.
And then he shaved his head.
Yep.
Kind of did some stuff that we've not really seen him do before.
Yep.
Did you find him acting out of character whilst you're watching?
I was just saying earlier that when he's at home, this is no word of a lie, when he's at home, he is what he is this last 2 weeks. When he was earlier, when he did the lovey-dovey and the kissy and Mr. Smooth, that was a little bit sort of acted out. I didn't recognise that person as much as the person.
What do you mean
I've met.
acted out?
Not acted
genuine?
Out. Genuine, but sort of very careful of how he's approaching things and how he's talking and things like that. But the last 2 weeks, he's sort of just exploded into the person I know.
Okay. So the craziness
the prank
we're seeing,
stuff.
not crazy, but you know, that's the Stephen you know more.
Yeah, I do.
He's very worried about public perception, isn't he? Why is that?
Stephen just wants to be loved. He likes to be liked. He likes to do things for people. He wants people to sort of say thank you and, you know, and he just wants to be nice to people and he just wants it back. And I don't know where that's come from, but, you know, that's what he wants to do. You know, it is a bit of a...
He's a people pleaser.
Massively. You know, if somebody's upset, you know, if we got a friend who's upset, he'd be the first one round there and he will say, hey, let's go out for a drink. He would treat them to try and let them come out of it.
Okay, thanks, Lynn. The Alliance opted for Pav and Zoe after hearing from some of the former housemates. Vic, what did you make to them calling them snakes in the grass?
Well, yeah, that comment I thought was a bit out of order because I think Pav's actually been really genuine. There was a few other comments, like when they said he's really fancies Ashley, which I don't think that's true at all. Because the Pav I know, if he really likes someone, you'll really know about it.
Yeah. There was always the comment about how he listens to one group, drops it off to the other group, and kind of talks behind their backs. But we haven't.
No,
we haven't really seen him do that, have we?
I don't think he's done any of that. He's just been himself. He's trying to sort of get involved with everyone. And people are really picking up on this psychology degree. Yeah, he studied a degree. That just means he's educated. It doesn't mean that he practices his psychology degree everywhere. Like, I studied accounting. I don't bring my calculator everywhere I go.
Come on, Vic, I know it's in your back pocket.
So I just believe that people should just take him for what he's doing in the house and how he's been. And especially, like, I think the negative energy from the ex-housemates really hasn't helped him and just made all the other housemates in the house alienate him completely.
He said
and now he's alone.
He feels hard to kind of get in with the boys.
Yeah.
What does he need to do you think?
I think Winston's more the type of lad he's hanging around with and it's cool, but I think the problem is being with Mark because Mark's trying to be on everyone's good side, but in the Big Brother house it's hard to be on everyone's good side. So he sort of said about the negative of Pav and Zoe and it sort of create that divide in the house. And I know Pav right now is just probably trying to get in with everyone, but he's just finding it hard because he don't know how to.
Yeah. And because of what, as you said, what they've...
But he is creating a lot of jokes in the house. Like, you see from the website, like, he's teaching them to dance to Bhangra. He's getting Chris to dance to Bhangra in the shower.
He's putting oranges on his head. Let's not go there again.
But he's doing what all Punjabis do, and we're like a type of people, we want to bring people together and have fun and be creative, but I don't think we've got to see enough of that, especially on the main show. I think we've seen a lot of him being chilled out and laid back, but he has done quite a lot in the house, but we just haven't got to see it yet.
Okay, Vic, thank you very much. We've got to go over now to Ashley's mum, Mary, who's on the phone. Are you there, Mary?
Yes, Emma, hello.
How are you?
I'm grand, thanks.
Good. Now, listen, at the beginning of the week, we saw the public vote for Ashley to be the head of the Power Alliance. What did you make of that?
Yeah, I think probably they voted her, I think, just probably to see if she is capable and what she's actually capable of, to see how strong she actually is. I think there's this thing between her and Helen all the time in there, and that they would have wanted Ashley to take the pass off her, I think.
Oh, do you think so?
There's a lot of chat about it, anyway.
There is a lot of chat about it online. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to do
No.
that. And then obviously a couple of days ago we saw that nasty twist where they had to replace Ash with somebody, and it ended up being her. How do you think she would have felt?
Probably let down a bit, I would say. I mean, she was told she was immune one minute,
Yeah.
and then it was taken off her for no real reason. But on the positive, I think it showed her strengths and her character.
Yeah.
So, and she held herself well. So, I think it brought a lot of good things out on her.
How do you think she'll get on tomorrow, Mary?
Sorry?
How do you think she'll get on tomorrow? Do you think she'll get through the eviction?
I don't know if she will, but I think I think Big Bro definitely has tested her ability, and I think she's come up fighting. So I'd like to think that it showed a lot of her character. So hopefully she will escape eviction. So.
Okay, thanks, Mary.
Okay, thank you, Emma.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
And now, last but by no means least, let's talk about Zoe. Really popular in the house in the beginning, until obviously some of the old housemates said that she was playing a game. She does have a background in reality TV, which we all know. Do you think that has become a hindrance to her?
I really don't think it is, because, you know, it's a completely different show, and if anyone knows Zoe, they know how talented she is, and she wanted to come on this show to enjoy herself and show people the true person. She's a laugh, she's genuine, she's real. And that's why she's come on like the normal Big Brother, not the celebrity Big Brother like everyone says she should have. Because she's a normal person, she's not this celeb, you know.
And it does seem that they are talking about this without bringing it to her, especially with a house full of people that says, I'll just say it to your face, I'll just say it to your face. But they're kind of speculating about her, not to her face.
Yeah.
How do you think she would deal with it if they did kind of talk to her about it?
The thing is, Zoe's such a peacemaker, and she'll always judge everyone from her own sort of perspective. She's never going to take anyone else's views on them, because she wants to make up her own mind on them. And if they've got to come up to her, you know, and have it out with her or whatever, she's a peacemaker, and she's just being real, and that's what she wants to come across as, and I know that.
She did have a really good reaction from the crowd last week, and I know Stephen has got his beady eye on what reaction she gets tomorrow night. How do you think it will be for her?
I'm hoping that the public are going to be behind her, because, you know, she's a good girl, and like, it's just the fact that it's such a shame that, you know, Mark's turned against her because of these two stupid ex-housemates that have got, you know, like bad words to say about her. It's not true, do you know? And everyone knows that.
Bitter ex-housemates, because they're not in there. Housemates, friends and families, everybody. So we've learnt a few little things from the friends and family, but have the nominees learned anything ever? Should we find out how smart they really are?
What is the Austrian Aboriginal meaning of the word kangaroo?
I have no idea.
Jumping?
I don't know if that's really off key.
I have no idea.
It is a food. It's a food.
Johnny's mum had 3 children. The first was called April, the second was called May. What was the third called?
Obviously June.
June?
June.
June. Sounds like a trick question.
In which year did England win the World Cup?
Something like 1966.
1966.
64.
Complete the quote. One small step for man, one large step for...
Who are Becky, Lydia, Luke A and Scott? Becky, Lydia, Luke A and Scott.
Who was the current Prime Minister? Oh, what's his name? It's gone from my mind.
Big Brother contestants.
What is Dr. Carol Kennedy's job in Neighbours? I don't watch Neighbours.
Which author wrote 50 Shades of Grey?
Oh no, a doctor! Okay, he's a doctor.
I think I've probably got about 50% right.
I think I did terribly well. Terrible.
How did I do? Rubbish.
And I'm really glad I caught on to that doctor thing at the end.
Oh, they look lovely. Right, should we talk about the nominees? Yeah. In the interest of fairness, we will have about 45 seconds chatting about each housemate when we hear this noise.
I'm fucking livid.
Oh, time's up. We'll move on to the next one. So let's start with Pav. Charlotte, has he lived up to his VT?
I don't even remember his VT. I'm sorry, but someone asked me that earlier and I genuinely couldn't remember. And then they reminded me of the one word about how he's very intelligent. I'm sorry to say this, but I don't get it.
Nina, does he deserve to go at this point?
Yes, he does, I think, in a way, because he really hasn't joined in with people. He hasn't made relationships with people. He's sat back and watched. And you need to join in. You need to form relationships.
Does he need to be a bit more aggressive, maybe,
no,
interacting? I don't mean aggressive in an aggressive way, but just
friendlier,
in getting in.
Friendlier and more interested in other people as people rather than as specimens. Because he's observing them like specimens, like we do with them. We're looking through the bars of the cage.
I'm fucking livid.
Oh, livid. Right, let's move on to Zoe. The housemates are unsure about her. What do you think of her, Nina?
Zoe, I mean, to me, she's a straightforward, obviously not very bright girl by those questions and answers, but she seems to be open, friendly, and I don't think it's a plot that a game that she's playing. I hate when people say, "Oh, she's playing the game. She's playing the game well." She is as she is, and if she wants to be friendly with everybody, I don't see what's wrong with that. That's what it's about.
Thelma, what's your take on Zoe?
I don't think she should be in there. I think she should be in the celebrity one. Yeah.
Really?
Definitely, yeah. I think she's got an unfair advantage.
I think you're dropping the bar for celebrity really low.
Well, this is what we said last
really
night.
Low.
This is
Come
what
on,
we said
who's
last
heard of her?
night, is that if she went in the celeb
I'm
one...
fucking livid.
People would say, who is she? You put her in this one. They say she should be in the celeb, so you can't win. Anyway, I was going to get that in. Right, let's talk about Ashley next. She had a narrow escape last week. We thought that the new housemates were going to kick her out, and then they switched at the last minute to Danielle.
Yeah.
Do you think she'll escape again tomorrow?
Yeah, I think she will. I know people are trying to wait on her to sort of stand up to Helen very, very kind of, I think, in terms of what people want. I don't think that's going to happen. But I think she'll escape tomorrow, and I think she'll just keep doing what she's doing. That's how I'm sort of viewing it.
Do you want to see more of Ashley?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I like Ashley.
Yeah?
I never at first, but I do now.
Why did you have to change your heart?
Because she's always with Danielle, but now that Danielle's not in there, she's mingling more now.
The other day, when she'd done the power task, and she told the other two what to do, who ran away first to tell the others?
I'm fucking livid.
She's livid. And finally, Stephen. He's had a tough old week, hasn't he, since losing his beloved Kim and then being first up by the Alliance. Does he deserve to be up, Nina?
Yes, he does, because basically, whatever Stephen does, it's all about him. So even when he was romancing Kim, for want of a better word, it's all, tell me what you think. I mean, because otherwise, how am I going to go? Me. So that he doesn't give. It's all take. And I think that alone. But I mean, between Pav and Steve, I can't tell.
Thelma, do you think it's his time to go?
Yeah, I think it is. And he's got to stop picking his nose. It's doing me head in. God.
He does do it quite a lot.
All the time.
Do you see that living with him?
There's a picking.
He's a picker.
Lots of picking.
Do you think he'll go tomorrow?
I'm fucking livid.
She's still livid. Very quickly, down the panel. Who will go tomorrow, Thelma?
Pav.
Nina?
I think Pav.
Charlotte?
I hope Pav. I'd rather Steve stay.
Are you all in agreement? Wowzers, they're all in agreement for once. Thank you very much, everybody. All right, no, Stephen. Stay tuned to find out why Christopher and Winston are getting all aroused. Plus, we've got all the hot gossip from the house. On the side. We're like the blue team. We may look like drowned sewer rats, but we are always gracious in defeat, aren't we? Here's the news. At 10:49, like I was trumping then. At 10:49 this morning, Pav went to Stephen for some man-to-man advice.
Steve. Yeah, man.
was wondering if I could get some advice from you, man.
Go on then.
I don't know, I don't really feel as if I'm integrating with the group as much as Zoe is, or I'm doing it as well enough.
Right.
Yeah, I don't really know why. Sort of. I mean, that's what I'm trying to pinpoint and understand it myself at the moment. Sort of like, I know we're not amazingly close, or we're like, you know, the best of friends, but I still feel that like I'd want to take your advice.
Maybe, I mean, from my point of view, like your certain mannerisms that you have, because you're not really a loud person, are you? You're actually quite quiet in a funny sort of way.
Yeah, I mean.
And if I was being straight up with you, man to man, honest, if there was anyone in the whole house that I thought was playing a game, it'd probably be you.
Okay.
That's me being honest.
Yeah.
My reasoning for that is just purely based on the fact that the manipulation thing and to your way of thinking, and also about, you know, sometimes when you're sitting down and you're looking around, I do feel like sometimes you're analysing the situation to work out, you know, what people are and how to do things.
With the analysing thing, it is just that. I'm just listening to other people. It's actually very hard to analyse someone like that.
I don't think that's the answer he was looking for, though, was it? You're a game player, manipulator, and you sit back and analyse everybody. Stephen! Great advice! At 12:57 this afternoon, housemates tried to get each other's pulses racing.
Are you ready for a lob on?
Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher.
You're gonna get it, Winston. You're gonna absolutely get it.
Did she just say, are you ready for a lob on? Zoe wins hands down for the best sexy chat, that is for sure. I think Winston probably found that really hard. It's the way you tell him. And finally, at 3:21 this afternoon, the housemates took up their last challenge to determine the shopping task outcome. Hold on tight.
Christopher's using the bowl of support. Your back's got to go on the bar.
Right.
How can you use
Well, move then!
Go on, you fucking cheese.
Really?
Oh. Yay!
Congratulations, Winston. You are the winner. You may release your gun.
Put your head back.
Get under it, you dick.
Get under it.
You boring bastard.
He's right there, isn't he? You should get under there, Winston, you boring bastard. That's today's news. Look at this. Ian's back. Yay! Nina's with us as well. What's happening online, Ian?
Well, before we go online, just to remind you that you can chat to Ryan and Nia Vicdy tomorrow.
Oh, nobody wants to do that.
Well, you know, if you do, the number should be on screen right now. So, we asked everybody who should go tomorrow and why. Okay, so Laura thinks Ashley should go. She's really boring and sits on her ass all day. How is that entertainment?
Okay.
Paige Sennett says, definitely Pav, he's so boring. He's brought nothing to the house.
Okay.
Fair dues. Big Brother Diva says Stephen should be evicted because since Kimberly left, he has become desperate for the public to like him and it's hard to watch. Hashtag cringe.
His mum said he likes to be liked.
And Kev says that Zoe should go because she don't need it. Grammar, where is this boy? Successful West End performer and I wants to get TV presenter work. Watch your back, Emma. Well, with grammar like that, there's no chance, pal.
Thank you so much. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow when Ryland's going to be joined by Denise Welsh, Helen Adams, I like blinking, and ex-housemates Danielle and Kimberly. And, of course, Evictee number 9. Have a great night. Good night.